and I was stuck on the MPC ever since.
So what about you, Pete? What was your first experience?
My first experience was with the 2000.
What's up? You got your boy Dyreck, aka Native Shades, telling you to like and subscribe. And we're gonna be talking about that MPC 2000. What had happened was the MPC 2000. This MPC came out around 1997. And I don't know if y'all remember 97, but that was a very important year. A lot of great things happened in 1997. There was a lot of great albums that came out. A lot of crazy stuff happened in 97. But this, in music, you have your pivotal years. I always think the pivotal years are like 1988. That's one of them years where you got the Big Daddy Kane, Slick Ricks, the Rakim really going in. Then you got the 1993s, you're getting introduced to Biggie, Wu-Tang, you know what I'm saying, Mobb Deep. Nas really started getting it in at that year. And you have 1997. This was like a change of the guard in like hip hop culture. And at the time, it's funny changing the guard, but this was the year, supposedly, Roger Lynn decides to leave Akai. Roger Lynn, this guy had his signature on the MPC 60, the MPC 62, and the MPC 3000, decides to leave Akai. Now, this is very pivotal because back in this time, in 1997, the culture back then was, people didn't have to be nice to you. If you sucked, you sucked. You got to remember, it didn't happen in 97, but these are people that booed Lauryn Hill in the Apollo. You know what I'm saying? These are people that used to boo the New York Knicks if they, went down on points or something like that. So back then, if you sucked, you sucked. And Akai was faced with a situation where they no longer had Roger Lynn. He bounced and he said, I'm leaving and I'm taking this with me, I'm taking that with me, and I'm taking that with me. And you can't use it. If you use it, you're going to have to pay me. And Akai's like, dang, man, do we want to pay him? Or should we just try ourselves? It's one of those moments where you have to kind of put yourself out there. You really have to take a chance. And I guess the guys in Akai was like, listen, we don't know what to do, man. We kind of, we know how to make an MPC. We made a couple with Lynn, and, we kind of got an understanding, but how do we know that it's going to be a big hit? We have such a big developer's name tied to this. So Akai decided to say, I guess somebody in Akai said, okay, well, let the people decide. So basically, they put out the MPC 2000 kind of as a base model, and they made it that you can put in whatever you felt you wanted to put in, so to speak, and take out what you wanted to take out. So, you put out the MPC 2000, you could put in more audio outs. You could kind of swap out the hard drive. If you want to swap out the hard drive and get another kind of drive in there, you could swap out the screen. Now, they put out this MPC. As far as the sound of it, it got this punchy sound. Like the MPC 2000 colors your sample. It does. You know what I mean? The samples go in one way and they come out another way, so to speak. And that's a good thing, especially for your drums. It adds this punchiness to the drums. Some people didn't like it. Some people's like, oh, I'd rather the MPC 3000. I want what I put in to come out. You know what I'm saying? But the 2000, it just added this color to your music that just made it a lot more punchier. And sonically, you can hear it. You know what I'm saying? If you're really listening, those little changes make a huge difference. They introduced this waveform of chopping up a sample. Before, cats was used to doing it by numbers, which is all good, but people really liked the waveform of chopping. And, I'm not going to lie, it makes things easier and you get more comfortable chopping up a sample. It introduced the whole track mute way of making your beats using the track mutes and things. You can combine your swing with the shift key and get later notes and everything like that. Just a lot of things that are common right now in MPCs really popped off on the MPC 2000. One of the dopest things on the 2000 is you got the pads on the right side. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. You got the pads on the right side of the MPC. That and the XLs are like the only ones that got that. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's not a stretch to say that when the Akai MPC 2000 came out, it was such an important part of the MPC history that if that machine was a failure, you probably would not be using the MPC you're using today, because Roger Lynn left the company. The company is on its own, so to speak, and they have to put out a product. And if they didn't come through, the company probably would have been over. You know what I'm saying? So it was a very pivotal moment when the MPC 2000 came out. When the MPC 2000 came out, it cost some money. It was about $2,000 and change, but it was much better than, when the 3000 came out, it was almost $4,000. So trust me, people was happy paying that much for the MPC 2000, the ones that could afford it, of course. A lot of legendary producers used the 2000. Kanye West, that was his choice of MPCs. He made a bunch of legendary hits on that MPC. I think Pete Rock used it before the 2000 XL. Just a lot of cats, man. But yeah, that's the MPC 2000. What had happened was, so this is your boy Dyreck, aka Native Shades, reminding you to like and subscribe, and I'm signing off.